right, it's the end of 2024, everyone. So let's take a look back at our Pokemon investments to see how we did, and did you make the right call for your investments in 2024 so you know what you're doing in 2025, right after this. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. That's right, we're already to the end of 2024, and it's hard to believe that we've gotten here and the road that we've taken this year to get to this point. Whether we take a look at the beginning where we were losing the rest of the Sword and Shield sets off of Pokemon Center to Surging Sparks disappearing like a flame in the wind here at the end. It's been an absolute wild ride, and today we're going to be taking a look back at how well your investments would have performed in this particular year. So, typically, a lot of people be doing top 10s, top 10 booster boxes, top 10 whatever. They make a bunch of top 10 videos. I'm not going to do that again this year. I didn't do it last year. I'm not doing it again this year. So today, we're just going to look at raw data. Last two generations of Pokemon. We're going to look at Sword and Shield, and we're going to look at Scarlet and Violet. We're going to break it down. We're going to look at each era, how well it's performed, and then put it together to show you an overall gain in your investments in 2024. And this is from January 1 to today, a little bit short of the end of the year. I know I'm going to be missing like 3-4 days here. It's not going to make a huge difference, I don't believe, at this point in time. Unless something crazy happens, and then I will put up a change in the pinned comments if something really does go crazy. So, first thing we're going to talk about is going to be booster boxes. Then we're going to talk about ETBs, Pokemon Center ETBs, and 6-pack bundles. Now, these are what I've been calling core investments. These are like your blue chip stocks. These are the ones that are really, really solid and have had longevity or will have longevity overall. And I'm going to put this video up next to me right over here, of course. That's going to go over why I believe that and break them down a little bit more rather than doing it again now. So first one we're going to go into is Sword and Shield, and we'll go Scarlet and Violet, and we'll do an overall encompassing number data of what everything has done. Sword and Shield, we're going to start off with booster boxes. Booster boxes have had a 32.6% gain in 2024 in the era. Number one driver of this is going to be Evolving Skies, followed by Lost Origins, Fusion Strike, and Chilling Reign, following right behind it and having a great push through 2024. As they disappeared off Pokemon Center, some of them did extremely well and really had that big drive forward. Some of them have been slacking, such as Base Set, Rebel Clash, Vivid Voltage, and also Battle Styles have been kind of holding it back a little bit as a era, but in general, most of the sets have done extremely well and saw some really good gains in 2024. Elite Trainer Boxes, the same kind of story, 18.4% gains when you're looking at that investment, and some of them have done extremely well. Some of them have been slacking. The last four have gotten reprints and still been showing up on shelves. It got lately reprints coming out of the era into the Scarlet and Violet era. Then, of course, on top of it, we've had them just kind of continually show up into circulation, which has continued to keep the pricing down on those last four, even though they are Trainer Gallery alternate art sets of the era. Bigger performance in there are going to be your Evolving Skies Elite Trainer Box. That Evolving Skies Elite Trainer Box is more than doubled in price, going from about $80 to $85 at the end of 2023, going into 2024, up to almost $200 currently for each one of the two types of ETBs for Evolving Skies. Once again, great performer there. A lot of the other sets just kind of moving up and meandering at a nice pace. Still seeing some 8-10% gains over the year. Nothing really, really crazy except for that Evolving Skies. And last thing is going to be the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Boxes, adding into the Elite Trainer Box front, doing extremely well. We're seeing about a 56% gain on those particular products, whether it's the Celebrations Elite Trainer Box going into the Evolving Skies Elite Trainer Boxes. We're also seeing a lot of the other sets like Fusion Strike and that starting to make some movements as well for those Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Boxes. And it's really showing when it comes down to the value of those particular products. Last one that we're going to talk about for a core investment is going to be 6-pack bundles. 49% gain, guys, on these. And it's kind of deceiving on the Sword and Shield front, and I'm not even going to lie. I'm not going to try and make it sound better than what it is. There's only two of them, and it's black and white between the two of them. You had Silver Tempest, and you had Lost Origin. Lost Origin has gone and doubled in price, so we're looking at 100% gain on Lost Origin, and you've actually had a little bit of a decline from MSRP or from release price at the beginning of the year to what is currently for the Silver Tempest, giving us a 49% gain on those particular products. Completely black and white. But Silver Tempest did get a reprint late last year, and we really haven't seen a recover from that, or not late last year, but had a late reprint of those 6-pack bundles in its last run of products, and Lost Origin did not. So once again, it's got a little bit more exclusivity, which is showing in the price, but once again, doing really well for a 6-pack bundle on that Lost Origins 6-pack bundle. We're going to move into Scarlet and Violet, and we're going to break down the numbers in Scarlet and Violet. Now, we're going to start off with booster boxes. 21.6% gain in booster boxes. A lot of this, to me, has been being driven by the shortage in part, because we're even seeing brand new sets like Twilight Masquerade, Stellar Crown, and Surging Sparks all driving that price up extremely well. So other sets such as Obsidian Flame and that are also doing extremely well down on the lower end of the sets, and even base set is coming up in price. Paradox Rift, another perfect example. $96 at the beginning of the year. Now we are currently seeing that at about $130 here at the end of the year. Overall, really, really good performances, really good looking sets. Overall, Scarlet and Violet booster boxes are doing really well. And if we see the continuing trend that we've seen from Sword and Shield, with the lack of reprints of booster boxes, this could be some very good gains coming into 2025 and futuristically for booster boxes in the Scarlet and Violet era. Going into Elite Trainer boxes. Elite Trainer boxes a little bit slower. We got 4.2% overall gains on those particular ETBs. Really being driven by that Pokemon 151 Elite Trainer box. Paldean Fates is doing rather well as well, pushing up a little bit. But overall, a lot of the sets currently in the Scarlet and Violet era, when it comes down to Elite Trainer boxes, are just flat. They aren't moving a lot. You aren't seeing a huge amount of gains. There are a couple outliers, but in general, it's been a really slow push for Elite Trainer boxes, which is not uncommon considering they've been the most printed item that we seem to get from Pokemon. Going into the Elite Trainer boxes, or Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes, we're looking at about a 38% gain. Once again, some of them have done extremely well. Pokemon 151, extremely big gainer when it comes down to that one. Surging Sparks now putting up some good numbers here at the end of the year. We also had sets like Paldean Fates are doing really well as well. So we're really seeing some really good pushes when it comes down to some of these products. So it is helping in general push that forward and giving it value. So we are seeing some good gains on the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes from the Scarlet and Violet era with that 38% gain right now. Next, we're going to be talking about the next core item, which is going to be 6-pack bundles. Now Scarlet and Violet's different than Sword and Shield because every set has gotten a 6-pack bundle as a core item as well, which is a change compared to 2 in the Sword and Shield era. But we're looking at about a 34% gain overall. Even these 6-pack bundles that were released like Obsidian Flames were about $22 at the beginning of the year. Paldea Evolved, another one, really, really down around that $21 at the beginning of the year, are all now pushing back to MSRP, $28, $29 for those particular 6-pack bundles. So we are seeing value coming into those, which is giving it that push on the 6-pack bundles. Big pushes inside of the 6-pack bundles right now in the Scarlet and Violet era is going to be Pokemon 151. Definitely a big push. Scarlet and Violet. Surging Sparks is doing extremely well. Also, really giving it that push here at the end of the year to really get the numbers up. If you remove those two, I was curious to know if we remove those two top pushers, we would be down probably to around 18 to 17%. So you are getting some very good value on those when you got one that's almost doubling up, and then you have Surging Sparks that's almost up about 70% as well at the end, really pushing that value up and getting us up in those numbers. So that 34% is really a basis on a couple good pushing sets. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at these. If you get opportunities in those particular booster bundles at MSRP, definitely a great opportunity. 151, definitely no question, one of the best products you can purchase right now for all of these categories, whether it's Elite Trainer box, or except for the booster box. Of course, we can't say booster box, but Elite Trainer box, Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box, and 6-pack bundle as core items. 151, definitely your biggest driving factor on almost all those performances. Going into the total stats now, how will we look if you were to buy every one of these products at the beginning of this year, from Sword and Shield all the way through into Scarlet and Violet? And I mean, even if you bought it before, we're looking at how it did in 2024. So how would we be looking overall for your percentage gains? Well, if you had booster boxes, you'd be up 26.7% right now. Guys, that's a fantastic gain. I mean, what kind of investment can you do out there besides maybe crypto, taking that huge risk with crypto? Are you going to see a 26.7% gain overall on these products? Another huge one, Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes, guys, 46.1%. That is gigantic. That is a huge number gain when it comes down to a Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes. 46%, 46.1% gain. You've almost halved up your amount of money that you've put into these things. That would be a fantastic gain on any investment market. Elite Trainer boxes are sitting at about, you're sitting at 12.6%. So you're looking at 12.6% on Elite Trainer boxes in general. Still not bad gains. That's sticking with market price, and where typically even myself for my 401k and my stock market stuff is trying to hold about that 12 to 18%. So we're right in that range, even on the Pokemon Center for Elite Trainer boxes. And once again, you're buying something and putting away that you might enjoy yourself later on. And you also got the 6-pack bundles. Where are those sitting? Well, we're at 40.7%. Another one doing super good and having some really good gains and some really good outlook here for the 2025 season. Now we're looking at 2025. What kind of sets do we have coming? Just bomb sets that we have coming right now, guys. I think 2025 is definitely going to be a buy-in market for as close to MSRP as you get. I don't know if you'll be finding products, for especially of Prismatic Evolutions, of Team Rocket sets going below MSRP pricing. I think that the frenzy on those is going to be so heavy that you're not going to be able to find those very easily at a reasonable price. So just keep that in mind. It's going to continue to be a buyer's market, in my opinion, going into 2025, especially MSRP. And if you are able to get those at that low prices, maybe some potential to sell part of your investment off right away in the short term to be able to cover that long-term investment to push that futuristically with no cost to you in the future, which is fantastic to pull off when it comes down to investment. When you have no money on the shelf and it's just going up in price, that's exactly what we want to see, and that's exactly what we shoot for when it comes down to your Pokemon investments. So guys, hopefully this is a good video for you guys to see that Pokemon investment is still here. Yes, finding product that is not as risky right now is definitely the issue. It's definitely not going to make it easy to find those products currently without the risk of reprints in the Scarlet and Violet era. But if you do look and you were able to buy these at their lower margins here this year, whether they were at release or if you had just picked them up at the lowest prices, did some shopping, you would have some very good investments overall this year when it comes down to those investments, and definitely have some really, really good opportunities for growth comparatively to most markets. In general, if you take a look at what you could have made this year, you could have made about 24.6% on your overall investment. So if you were to buy something of every one of these core investments, you'd be sitting about there for your percentage gains, which, guys, what kind of investment out there right now can you do that with besides possibly some crypto stocks or some really high risk stocks out there in the market? And this isn't really high risk at this point. A lot of these core investments are very, very sound investments and are very moderate risk. You're really risking it. The Pokemon company in general can hold itself together and continue to perform as it is, status quo. And we continue to see this continuation year after year. This is the second year in a row that I've seen 20+% gains on my investments just by using PokeData.io. Not a plug, not getting paid. I just use PokeData.io because I can see that very easily and see the performance of my portfolio there. It's really, really easy to do. So overall, fantastic, guys. Hopefully you guys are doing well on your Pokemon investments. If you want me to cover more of like Sun and Moon, XY evolutions, or XY era stuff, let me know. I kind of skipped it on this video just because I'm staying in the 5 years. I'm staying in what most people are probably purchasing at this point in time. And that's why I did. If you want me to do more, let me know in the comments if it's something you want me to jump into and dive into a little bit more to see what the percentages are down there. But if not, we'll just continue moving into the modern stuff going into 2025. Hopefully you guys had a Merry Christmas. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic New Year's. We'll have one more live here before New Year's. Remember, it's Monday at 8:30 p.m. Central Time instead of Tuesday. After that, going into the second week, or going into the first week in January, we will be back on Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Central Time here on Northwoods TCG for our weekly live, where we discuss the market, investments, and what's generally going on in the Pokemon hobby. We bring in guests. We talk to them as well on what they're seeing also in the hobby, so you guys can make good decisions for your Pokemon investments moving forward. Other than that, hopefully this is a good video. If it was, hit that like button before you leave. It's greatly appreciated. Make sure that you guys go and hit that subscribe if you are new here and if you've made it this far into the video. And last but not least, make sure you hit that notify bell so that way you know when we're doing new videos and go live so that you can partake with us. Otherwise, we'll see you next time here on Northwoods TCG.